We record. No, we record right now. I don't want to hear nothing. Now tell the people what podcast you got. The Futurist. Tell them what you got.
The Black Futurist. What's going on, my good friend, Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 4-time national judo champion, 2004 Judo Olympian.
So let me tell you something. Listen, and you all know me. I'm the host of the Coffee with Rhadi. I don't know if it's a joint simulcast. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I do know this. We need to talk about it RAT right now because Mike Tyson has turned around on the airplane.
Right. Let's just skip to the point.
I don't want to say the word assaulted, but that's going to be the word that's used. So let's say, and assaulted a man on the airplane. Now here's the thing, and this is what we need to talk about, Coach B.
Now that's the real. The ideal is that when that happens, action and reaction is fine, and that works in certain states like Florida. Stand your ground rule, right? But they weren't in Florida.
If he was not on an airplane,
right?
And he was and Mike Tyson was sitting in his chair in a space in Florida, and the guy was close to him like that, and he told him, "Please remove yourself from the space in Florida." Mike Tyson can remove him out of his space.
If Mike felt threatened, then he could stand his ground. But airports are federal space. Airplanes I don't even know what that's considered. It's probably also still federal. I'm not sure. I saw the link. I sent it to you because I immediately heard the version of you in my head that said, we live in a society where, or even Mike's quote, the internet has made it so people are comfortable saying whatever they want without fear of getting punched in the mouth.
Correct.
True. So ideally, everything is fine. You poked and prodded the bear turned around and did what a bear does, and everybody just wipe your hands clean of it. But that's not where we live. And that was my point to you.
I believe if we find out that that's exactly what happened, I believe that a judge will see it that way.
Okay, possible. I was in a minor car accident the other day. The woman hit me.
Allegedly.
There's no convenient time to get a flat tire or get into a car accident. So I'm already losing. My point is, even if a judge says, hey, Mike, you're off, Mike's going to incur hundreds of thousands of dollars of lawyer fees. Even if Mike wins the way you say, he still has to go through the inconvenience that I had to go through in that car accident. I was planning on going from A to B. Like Mike was planning on flying from San Francisco to wherever he was going, and he had to get off that plane. So already he's lost. And that's before we even get to the point where you're talking about court. In order to get to court, you got to have an attorney, which means you got to pay and you got to spend time. And that's a loss.
I think the difference in the two scenarios, equations, if you will, because one is missing a variable. It's the variable of incitement. Mike was trying to bring order to a situation that was already disordered. He already felt like he was being inconvenienced. Now, you made a great point, which is what put us on this call, and I want you to say the point.
Okay. Mike is known to the world for violence.
That's what he does.
That's what he's known for. He does other things. He has a great podcast. He owns marijuana businesses. He's actually a great case point of someone who's gone through a whole lot of therapy, a whole lot of self-discovery, and evolved over years. We've watched this guy evolve, but he still has his reputation for violence, and he struggles with that, where he even describes it in the duality, like to say, I'm afraid to be that guy, but I am that guy. And it's a really cool thing to watch. And so this guy's sitting behind him, and he's intoxicated. His boys are filming, at least 2 cameras I saw, alcohol breathing, taking selfies, taking videos of the man. And eventually Mike responds after he's taken enough with violence.
Which, from my standpoint, that is the normal order of operations for Mike.
Right. And it's the normal order for man in the wild. But we are no longer man in the wild. We're a man in the litigious society where celebrity exists. And so my point to you was, there's a landscape. There's a mousetrap. These things exist in celebrity. Quite honestly, a guy who's known for violence and who has great celebrity knows when he goes into public spaces, he's not going to be treated normally. Right.
When you see those paparazzi, the way that they behave, that's egregious behavior.
That's right.
And
there's the landscape.
Walking up to somebody, putting the camera in their face, filming their baby, not letting them get in their car, and they got to move around you. And they literally want to push those people out the way or push the camera. They can't.
And they make more money when they get you to respond to the things that they're saying to you. So they're going to keep on throwing these wild pitches at you, testing your patience and your calm. And if they're successful, you act out of character or in character, however you want to call it, and they get video of it. And that brings them more cash. So my point was that a guy in Mike's situation should be flying private at all times. He shouldn't be in public spaces unless he can exert enough control over the public space.
Unless he has a buffer. Like there's people on the side of him, the people behind him, and the people in front of him should have been people that are with him.
Right. If you can't exert enough control of the situation, then you're going to have a problem. The mousetrap is loaded, and somebody can get close enough to press that button, and it's going to snap. And that's fine until now you got to deal for the next year and a half with attorneys and attorney fees, loss of sponsorship, and all that kind of crap. That's definitely, a possibility.
Mike's not losing any sponsorship over this.
We'll see.
Like you said, this fits with Mike's brand.
Unfortunately. But I think it also brings Mike some pain. I think he's going to contend with this. For some time.
So I've watched Mike for a while. I also know that, and Mike knew too, that when he stepped back in the ring, he opened up Pandora's box again, which he should not have done. He said in interviews, "I don't even hit bags anymore. I don't do any of that stuff because it puts me in a space and place that I don't need to be in." And just the whole sparring and then going back and they're doing the celebrity match with Roy Jones, and when that happened, I was like, Mike, some things you don't need to. You just can't do it again.
I don't know if Mike has a choice. I think that there's, like I said, there's a part of Mike's personality that just wants to die on the shield. Like, I got to know that I could be beat. And so you're not going to do that by sitting on the sidelines. There's a part of Mike's persona and it comes out in the conversations.
It does. That's just how it is. Let's be clear. When in Mike's life does he experience that, what he experienced on a plane? Never. Coach B, who in their right mind? Because let me tell you something. Mike is old.
Nobody in their right mind. That's the problem.
I don't care how old a professional boxer is. I don't care how old George Foreman is. The level of technical acumen and the efficiency and the proficiency of one well-timed strike of a boxer who is 60 years old will kill you. Not hurt you, kill you.
And he has to know that about himself.
He's very aware. The guy on the plane is aware too. But as you said, maybe he's not in his what? His right mind.
So to that point, I think Mike experiences this way more than you would think. I think that, the word never is actually wrong. A month ago, Mike was in a comedy club in L.A. and some amateur boxer comes up to him, getting all in his face. Mike's in the audience at a comedy show. The guy gets in his face and he's like, "Mike, I just need you. A fight with you would make my career. I need you. And Mike is tolerant as heck. You can see the video. The security ushers the guys away from Mike, and the guy pulls out a pistol in the comedy club. This is not a never situation. The world around Mike is one where somebody always wants something from you, and you've always got this violence with you. And so it's a mousetrap. And I feel sorry for the guy because
can't go anywhere.
You can't go anywhere. And you got to know that. You can't be on a commercial flight. Look at all these cryptocurrency billionaires, man. You can't even be in first class. A classless dude could sit behind you and get as many free drinks as he wants and start whispering in your ear.
A classless dude could be in first class.
Sitting right behind you, right behind your celebrity rich Mike Tyson, whispering in your ear with alcohol breath, taking selfies with his man across the aisle. You got to navigate that.
Did he incite the issue?
Yes.
Did he provoke it?
Yes.
Well, there's a high level of provocation. I don't think Mike goes down for this.
If you get to that point where, like you say, a judge will rule that way, fine. But you're not going to not lose money, and you're not going to not lose time.
Right. There you go. And that is Mike's biggest commodity.
That's it. He's got to spend time and money on this crap, which was not in his plan for 2022 or 2023, and now it has to be.
I tell you what, man, I feel like there are more people who should get the shit slapped out of them. I feel that there's more people that should be hit in the face for what they say. I feel that there should be more physical or aversive stimulus for some of the things that people do.
Yep.
And people don't agree with that because they said, man, we've evolved as a species. And, no, we haven't. No, we haven't. If that was the case, we wouldn't be dealing with the situation in Ukraine and Russia. I told my students, people used to say this to us when we were growing up. When I mean my students, I run a martial arts facility. I teach low-grade violence. People said, it takes two people to start a fight. No, it takes two people for peace, my man.
That's true. That's good.
It takes two people for peace.
When you get slapped in the mouth, is that considered a fight?
It has started.
It's the absence of peace for sure, but I don't know if it's a fight unless you block.
The fight has started. The fight has started. Now, whether you want to continue to fight or not, that's up to you. But the fight has started. Now, the fight is occurring on two levels. It's on the continuum of being a physical, full-on fight per the response. But the fight in your mind of how or whether you should respond or not is all based on what you perceive the outcome being and the benefits of the outcome. Because let me tell you something. Chris Rock is not a trained fighter. I don't care who you are. If you sneak up on Floyd Mayweather and you just walk up on him and you go, BAM! And you hit him, he will turn around, and before he can apologize, or he will go, whop, whop.
Hit me in the face. Right, exactly.
He hit you twice, whop, whop, and then he'd be like, hey, he'll look at it and see who you are, and then, I'm sorry, I didn't. When you scare like trained fighters or trained in violence, when I mean violence, I'm talking about your football players, your wrestlers, people who look somebody in the eye and they go forward and not backwards. You see those videos when somebody's like hiding in a garbage can and they go, ha! Like there's certain people who are trained, they go like this.
And other people go, bop.
They go, pop, pop. Right. That's all training.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Mike doesn't have enough reps at walking away.
Has
he walked away? Yes. Has he thrown his hands up before? Yes.
That's not going to be the defense here. Assuming you're on the plane, you've been there long enough.
But we're just talking.
That can't be the defense. Yeah.
The only defense that Mike has is what you said. They need to dive into his Mike Tyson-ness. Because the other person's going to be like, he's this and he's this and he's this. And they should say, you're correct. He is this and he is this and he's all of these things. We're trying to find out exactly why your client jumped into the cage of the tiger and then is now upset about being bit.
We know why. But here's another interesting piece while you're touching on that. If you go to court and it's a jury trial, you're supposed to be judged by a jury of your peers, which would mean it would be a bunch of professional fighters in that jury box. That would be a fair trial. Again, it would still be a loss of time and money. But Joe Schmo off the street and 11 other just like that person are not a jury of Mike's peers. Right, because they don't understand any of what his experience is.
That's a good argument.
It is. These arguments all cost money.
That's a great argument. Because he needs a jury of his peers. I don't think this is ever going to court.
You get a jury of his peers, that thing would be over in day one. We've come with a decision, Your Honor. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, I don't
get this clown out of here.
Get this clown out of here. Right. With that being said, make sure you please check out the Black Futurist podcast today.
Hey, and definitely enjoy yourself a cup of coffee with Rhadi daily.
We appreciate it.
Good to see you, brother.